Yes, welcome to the live stream. Hang on, let me get that out of the way. Right, I can see. Are we back on? Is it back on? This is really bad signal. Is it working now? Maybe it's better. Remember when the 5G signal wouldn't work the other week and it was really bad, so we had to switch to the 2G. Now the 2G's not working and 5G might. 5G's going to work. Come on, 5G for the win, baby. The number's bigger. It's supposed to be better, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, how's it going, guys? Yeah, it's been a stressful weekend again with travel. I just seem to be having bad luck when it comes to travel at the moment. Let's get a couple of shouts from go, and then I can decompress live on air so you can hear everything that happened with my travel schedule this weekend. So yeah, shout out to Typewriter5, shout out to Orange Juicer straight in there with a tier 1 subscription. 16 months in a row, awesome stuff, thank you. Right, yeah. Gaius Marius says, seems fine now, thank you. So yeah, so we're on to a winner. We're on to it. 0 drop frames, all good. A little hiccup at the start, but we're all good. Shout out to CPZ saying, hey man, new feedback. Shout out to Clyde Frog, shout out to Ali Elliott, shout out to Nish, shout out to Night Viper, John Bulmer, shout out to Kit Hype in the house. What's going on, Tristan? How's it going, San? How's it going, San? I know I put on a Cockney accent to speak to a Dutch person. There we go. Yeah, so this weekend it was one of them that it's like I try not to. I'm a natural worrier. If something can go wrong, I'm worried that it's going to go wrong. So I try not to even look at the details for next weekend until I need to start acting on it. Otherwise, it's going to be playing on my mind. So last weekend I was in. Where was I last weekend? I was in Northern Ireland for our Keeping the Rave Alive party. Big lineup for that one. Myself, Phase 2. There's some local guys from Northern Ireland smashing at the moment. Wasted Penguins and Hixie. So one of our big flagship events and everything. And then it's like, then I looked at the flights. I knew I had a connection somewhere. And I saw that I was flying from Warsaw, where I live now, to Belfast via Edinburgh. And I'm like, okay. And I had a look at it and it said the connection was 1 hour 50 minutes. I'm like, that's okay, you know, because you're just going to get off one plane to get onto the next one. So I was like, you could even get away with like an hour delay on that, and then, you know, I'm still going to make the connection okay. Then I realised I'm coming from outside of the UK into the UK, which means that I'm going to have to get off the plane, queue up, go through passport control, which spits you out into the main part of the airport, then go back through check-in, through, you know, all the luggage and stuff, and then get to the gate. And I'm like, it's not. Now all of a sudden that's doable in 1 hour 50 minutes if everything's not too bad. Doesn't allow for a delay. First flight was with EasyJet, second flight was with Ryanair. So I'm thinking, oh god, this isn't good. So I'm like, okay, let's see what my backup options were. So I had a little look. No other backup options. There was like no other flights. That was the last flight of the day, and that was like at 5 PM, last flight of the day going from Edinburgh to Belfast. So like the only other option that I could find was there was a flight from Glasgow at 7:30, which would have bought me an extra 2.5 hours, but I would have needed to get between the airports, which is at least an hour. So my backup option was going to have to buy another flight last minute, jump in a taxi and try and get across for 7:30. So like any other normal gig, it's not ideal to miss a gig. Of course it's not. But you know, if you're on the lineup with 6 other DJs or something, it's like it's not the end of the world. Where it's like when it's your event that you're supposed to be hosting, and everyone's like, I can't not make this connection. Luckily, went okay. We're all good. Flight for once, like an EasyJet flight landed like 20 minutes earlier, got out, and it's like I did have a bit of a kick off because I got like a seat that was right at the back of the plane, so I could be the first one off it. So yeah, so I'm there, and then a family comes up to me and goes, oh yeah, we're all sitting together, and you're kind of like sitting in the middle of us, and one of ours is sitting at the front. And then they were like, so can you swap seats? And I was like, oh, what seat is it? And it was like 15 or something, which is like bang in the middle of the plane, which means that when people are leaving at the front of the plane and the back of the plane, I'm going to be the last one off. And I was like, I'm really sorry, but it's like I've got a really short connection and I need to get off the plane first. That's why I got the seat at the back, sorry. And they were like, yeah, it's the same seat, look, it's an aisle seat, it's the same seat. And I'm like, you're not understanding what I'm saying here. I need to be the first one off the plane so I don't get caught in the queue. I'm really sorry. And then it's like, yeah, they weren't very happy. And then so I had to sit in the middle of an angry family for all of the first flight. But I got off first, straight through passport control. Luckily, not a huge queue going back through the thing. It's like I even got a chance to buy myself a Boots meal deal in Edinburgh. So that was all good. Made the flight through to the other end. Like the guy that owns the club, Cole, he came, whipped by, picked us up, picked up Hixie from the airport, had a good chat, not caught up with Hixie for a little while. Went there, got some food, had about 45 minutes to grab a shower. Then down to the party. It was wicked. Phase 2 was smashing it by the time we got there. Then I played. Then Wasted Penguins played. Then Hixie played. And then, kind of like had a little chat, little catch up, couple of drinks, and then went to bed. All very civil. Now it seems as we're not like 21 anymore. Can't be doing with a hangover the next day. I had a bit of a long day travelling back. I had to do the same flight thing back, but via Stansted. And I'm jinxed when it comes to travel. It always goes wrong for me when it's travelling. That's why I was so panicking about my flight on the way out there. So it's like I was like, take a deep breath before I set off back. I was like, I don't care what happens today because I'm only getting home. So whatever happens. It's like I've made the gig. That's the most important thing. Famous last words. So I get to the airport. It's all good. Flight gets called. There was a guy behind me, like, because I was like just with my rucksack, like, so I was like, I'll get last on the plane, because it's like I'm going to get my seat. I don't need the overhead space. There's a guy behind me just rocked up at the end, and he didn't want to have his suitcase taken off him. And it's like, everyone else has had to, man, and you were at the back of the queue, and you could have paid for speedy boarding, or you could have gone with another airline, that's more expensive, that would have guaranteed your luggage. And he was having a right go. I was biting my tongue, to be honest. He was going, you're a horrible airline, you're a terrible airline, and all this. And it's like, I was biting my lip not to say anything. It's like, dude, just fucking stop being a dick, man. Just doing a job. And I'm the last person that defends airlines, but is what it is. Last of the queue, and you're taking it on an EasyJet flight. What do you expect? So yeah. Anyway, got on the flight, sat down, EasyJet flight. Got my bag underneath the seat in the front, leaned back of the seat, boom, completely snapped, nearly flattened the lady sitting behind me. So I'm like sitting there, I'm like looking at it, I'm like, sorry. And then the guy sits next to me sat down, and he's like went like way back further than it should have done. So it's like kind of like, and everyone's like looking, and it's like, oh, got a problem here. And then it's like, then the air hostess comes over, pulls the back of the seat up again. It's like, no, that's not going to work. Like, just like lean back a little bit, boom, back again. And then she was like, oh, I don't know. And the thing that's worrying me with this is, it's two separate flights. They're not part of the same booking that I'm getting home on. I'm going to Stansted on EasyJet, and then I'm going from Stansted to Warsaw on Ryanair. So if I can't get on that flight, then they're going to put me on the next flight. I'm going to miss my connection, and then I just have to sort myself out from there. So it's like I'm thinking to myself, oh no, I shouldn't have jinxed this. It's kind of like, we'll see what's going on. Luckily, there was 2 free seats on the plane, so they moved us right to the back. Like, ended up with a crappy seat, but whatever. Not bothered. It's like, as long as I get on the plane. So it's like, so got there. I think we were like about after they'd sorted all of that, we were like about 45 minutes late. Whatever. I had 3 hours layover, loads of time. Lucky, because when I went to leave the luggage part, somebody tried to get back in through the luggage part, and it had put the whole airport down, so everyone's stuck in the baggage thing. I'm like, I've still got plenty of time. And then as time's going on, the alarm's going on. I'm like, I really need to start getting moving here, people. So then went through. Obviously, I checked in, boarding pass on my phone, straight through. Get to the what's it called? Control the luggage thing. When you're going through security again, it's got spat out into the main airport again, which I didn't think I was going to have within a UK flight. So anyway, it's all good. Still had plenty of time. Went through, got myself a cup of coffee, went to the gate, sat there thinking, one more flight to go home. Nothing can go wrong now, can it? Got on the flight. It's all going on time. Nice and civil. Everybody's just getting on there, waiting to get home. Whatever they're doing, going about the business. Sat there. The back of my seat didn't break, so I'm buzzing off that. Then went to pull back, then all of a sudden it like kind of stopped, and I had my headphones on. I'm playing my Switch like in a world of my own with my noise cancelling headphones on. And after a while, when you start like seeing people getting a little bit antsy, and I'm like, we haven't gone, we've been sat here for ages. And then the next minute, people in like yellow coats are coming on the plane and stuff. I'm like, this isn't good. And then the guy does an announcement, and he was like, yeah, I've got some bad news. The computer's not working. So like what we're going to do is we're going to switch the plane off and back on again and see if that fixes it. I'm like, it's not giving me the most confidence that this is going to be a safe plane, but whatever. And then the guy goes, all the lights are going to go out when we reset it, so nothing to worry about, just turn it off, back on again, back in a second. It's like 2 minutes later, all the lights go off on the plane, people start freaking out, and he's like, woo, woo, woo. All these like people, and I'm just like, oh no, this isn't good. It's going on for a little bit longer. I'm sat near the front, so it's okay. The door's open on it. And so I'm getting a bit of fresh air. People from the back of the plane come in and they're going, I need to get off the plane, they're like freaking out and stuff, and they're going, it's at the back, people are going to start passing out and stuff. And then the poor girl that's like, the lead air hostess, she's like, well, I can't let you down off the plane because there's nobody down the bottom, it's not safe to be out, like on the runway with planes and stuff when you're not supposed to be there. And it's all going off. The guy goes on the announcement, he goes, And then they were going, oh, we need an update. She was like, there isn't anything to say. And it's like, she was like, look, it's still not working. We don't know. This guy comes on, gives an announcement. He goes, so yeah, no update. He goes, we're still looking at the computer. It's still not working. I said, I'm not going to lie. It's not looking good. It's not what you want to hear, is it? And then it's like, so he's there, kind of goes, it's not looking good, but he goes, all I can say is we're looking at it. I don't know if we're going to fly. I don't know if we're not going to fly. I just think if everybody can just be positive, maybe we'll go. And I'm like thinking, oh, it's not the one, this, is it? So it's kind of like just plodding on for a little bit. We sat there on the runway for about an hour, and the next minute it's like guy comes out and he goes, hey, good news, we've got it working again now, so we're going to fly. And then so about an hour late, landed, got back, finally got home about midnight on Sunday. Couldn't sleep because I'm still jet lagged from America last weekend, so I downloaded the UFC, watched that, went to bed about 2:30, something like that. Up first thing Monday morning, back at it in the studio, working on radio shows and podcasts and all that good business, get all that out the way for the start of the week, catch up on emails, and here we are this lovely evening. And I've still got 3 minutes to talk before we get into the mix this week, which is me running through new promos. Been sent so much new music and I've been travelling so much that I haven't had a chance to really download them, or I've downloaded them but I haven't had a chance to have a proper listen. So what we're going to do is just jump in the mix in the background now, all different styles, whatever, just going to play them in pretty much BPM order. So we're going to start with hard end tech trance, going to go right through to hardcore and gabber at the end, hardstyle in the middle, the usual sort of format. Probably be about an hour and a half, I think, something like that in the mix. See how it goes. So it's been hectic, and we've got more hectic beats to come. Let me give a couple more shouts. So yeah, just so you know, at the end of it, I'll jump back on here and we'll have a little chat and we'll talk more in the chat. But people last week seemed to like my rambling tour stories of what goes on. I didn't even really talk about the club this time. It's more like the travel around it, because what can you say about the club? I mean, it's like, I'm going to say the club's good because it was a Keep Me Rave Alive event, so I'm going to say it was amazing. It's like, do you want to see the plastic bullshit that most DJs come out with, or do you want to see somebody be real and talk about a little bit in between that you don't get to see on the Instagram photos with the crowd behind you and stuff? Don't get to hear about the seat that fell down. Should have taken a selfie of the woman behind me then. I don't think she'd have been happy. Yes, so where are we? A minute and a half before we get into the mix. Shout out to Speedy B. Shout out to Saraf AA. Saying, great to talk in Fresno. Big up, mate. Yeah, Fresno was awesome. Awesome party. Shout out to DJ Delboy. Saying, seen pic of his leg on Twitter. I haven't. I haven't eaten my dinner yet now, so I think I probably don't want to. DJ Delboy, I'm afraid. Train platforms and bad legs. That's probably not gone well, has it? I'm guessing the fact that you're posting on here now means that you've still got a leg. That's the main thing. Shout out to Alan Jenkins. I can't even speak my words out here. Yeah, and it's like, this is how dedicated I've been. Remember when I was licking Zelda cartridges last week? Still not even had a chance to play it. That's how dedicated I've been. It's the cause at the moment. So I'm going to jump in the mix now, spin some beats. Lots of really good tunes, and I'm going to play some stuff that you might not be into as well, because I've just, like I said, I want to listen to all the promos. So if there's any tunes that you don't like at any point, hang tight. I'm just going to weave in and out. I want to have a little play, I want to have a little listen. I want to hear what they sound like in the mix. Maybe there's some bad tunes in the mix. I don't know, because I've been sent these promos. I'll have a listen to them. So maybe they're good, maybe they're not. You can let me know after, we can discuss the finer details. But yeah, for the next 90 minutes or so, it's time for me, Kutski, to get in the mix. Let's do it.
go. Monitor 8 is on frequency 120.55 and call me back. Trainer 89er Mike, cleared to cross, runway 32.
Trainer 89er Mike, welcome.
Bearing, full go. Do you copy?
environment, so all the flyer shit is what I am trying to get. I keep them swiping like a windshield, and hoes catch fly balls like catches on the infield.
faster than light.
He called you a cowboy. What did he mean? What are you?
Bounty hunter.
First rule of combat: shoot them before they shoot you.
Light me up like fireworks. Just need touch, unspoken words. Be my match, my shining light. 'Cause you are dynamite. Bring that head rush on me now. Be the beat, the bass, the sound. Take me home with you tonight. 'Cause you are dynamite. Light me up like fireworks. Just need touch, unspoken words. Be my match, my shining light. 'Cause you are dynamite. Bring that head rush on me now. Be the beat, the bass, the sound. Take me home with you tonight. 'Cause you are dynamite. You are dynamite.
Goes to the boys.
Power. Energy. Elevation. Motivation. Yeah, this is your workout plan. Let's get motivated. No excuses, no losers, no debating. We need your energy. Victory is yours, claim it. These are the stating facts, yeah, get up and face it. This is the goal we live by. This is all we know. Give it all you got. Switch into power mode. Switch into power mode. Power. Energy. Elevation. Motivation. Yeah. Attention, please. We need you to focus right now. Gather all your strength, 'cause it's about to go down. Switch into power mode. Victory is yours, claim it. These are the stating facts, yeah, get up and face it. This is the goal we live by. This is all we know. Give it all you got. Switch into power mode.
Keeps you moving forward, one step in front of the next. I never felt something so real. I used to dream for days. I was put here for a reason.
Trance, we take it over.
Dancing together.
This is fucking hardstyle. Come on, 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 fuck yeah.
This is Hardstyle.
This is fucking hardstyle. Hardstyle, come on. This is hardstyle, baby.
start taking you under. The sound of the thunder.
Just another lover, a body to discover. I can take away the suffer your body feels. And I've got rhythm you can thump, I've got strings you can strum. Play your heart like a drum. Play your heart just another lover, a body to discover. I can take away the suffer your body feels. And I've got rhythm you can thump, I've got strings you can strum. Play your heart like a drum, I'll play your heart like a drum. his voice, right? Right. You better accept the fact that the brutal saga is eternal, baby. It will hunt you in your dreams. Yo, Radical, let's do this.
Never hateful, always grateful, we will dominate. Never hateful, always grateful, we will dominate. Never hateful, always grateful, we will dominate.
Witness the power of number 8! But we're not done yet. Bring that melody back.
Never hateful, always grateful, we will dominate. Never hateful, always grateful, we will dominate. Never hateful, always grateful, we will dominate.
Witness the power of number 8!
Wake up, grab a brush and put a little makeup. Grab a brush and put a little makeup. Hide the scars to fade away the shake up. Hide the scars to fade away the shake up. Why'd you leave the keys upon the table? Here you go, create another fable. Why'd you leave the keys upon the table? Here you go, create another fable. I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide. I cry when angels deserve to die.
exist in the outside world.
Set fire to the roof, boy.
Listen to this fat bass that will send the blood coursing through your veins.
Wanna be the one that you ought to hold. Let me be there for you, baby, when the nights are dark and cold. Let me be the one standing by your side. I want everyone to see that our love will never die. Our love will never die. Our love will never die. that held us down before. It's taken all that I have to keep believing that aching hearts made of glass won't stop beating. When the lights go out, you know that we're in this together. If I lose myself, even when I'm falling, we won't surrender. When the lights go out, you know that have stayed. I've been a wreck since you changed. Don't let me get in your way. I miss the lies and the pain, the fights that keep us away. Ay, ay, I'm telling you, I like the kick and the fame. The things you do to me, I love the way that it hurts. Don't miss your misery. You know that I've had enough. I dare you to call my bluff. Can't take too much of a good thing. I'm telling you, I miss the bad things, the way you hate me. I miss the scream and the way that you blame me. I miss the phone calls when it's your fault. I miss the late nights, I don't miss you at all. I like the kick and the fame, the things you do to me. I love the way that it hurts. Don't miss your misery. Don't miss your misery. I'm telling you, I love the way that it hurts. Don't miss your misery. I like the kick and the You know that I've had enough. I dare you to call my bluff. Can't take too much of a good thing. I'm telling you, I miss the bad things, the way you hate me. I miss the scream and the way that you blame me. I miss the phone calls when it's your fault. I miss the late nights, I don't miss you at all. I like the kick and the fame, the things you do to me. I love the way that it hurts. Don't miss your misery. I like the kick and the fame. I'm telling you, I miss the bad things, the way you hate me. I miss the scream and the way that you blame me. I miss the phone calls when it's your fault. I miss the late nights, I don't miss you at all. I like the kick and the fame, the things you do. I love the way that it hurts. Don't miss your misery. I love the way that it hurts. Don't miss your misery.
Yes, hard beats in the mix. Some good stuff coming out at the moment, isn't there? Yeah, so that's what's been landing in my inbox in the promo mix for the last couple of weeks, I would say. Oh, shout out to Juiceber for the Twitch Prime subscription 3 months in a row. Thank you for everybody that sent the subscriptions through. I saw the notifications going off on my phone, but I don't know how to get back and see who's subscribed this week, but thank you if you have done that. I appreciate it very much. If you haven't already and you're on Amazon Prime and you don't know, if you link that to your Twitch account, you get one free Twitch Prime subscription, and you can subscribe to my channel if you like what I'm doing here, and you can help support the cause. It costs you no money. The Amazon man flips me a couple of quid. Doesn't hurt his bank balance, apparently. Or if you just want to subscribe regularly, of course, I appreciate the support, because that means it's coming out of your pocket. If you want to chuck a couple of quid, a couple of coppers to old Kutski with his crazy live show that he does every week on Tuesdays. So yeah, Facebook got killed after about half an hour, didn't it, as always. But I did notice when we broadcast on everything using this restream thing, the Twitch numbers aren't affected because all you guys that watch on Twitch always watch on Twitch, but I do notice when the Facebook stream goes down, the Twitch numbers go up, so we're pulling people over slowly. They're going, I can't be bothered installing Twitch, but if it's on Facebook, I'll watch it because it's on Facebook. And they're going, Facebook's shit, but that show was good, so I want to watch the rest of it. Come over to Twitch. That's my secret plan, to pull people over from everywhere. So I have that big thing all the way through it. Shout out to Sandy Land. ID in the last track in the mix, yeah, Rebellion and Deadly Guns, Misery. I love that track. Awesome, innit? Typewriter 5. Shout out, just saying truth. I've lost the thread of the... That's the problem, isn't it? If I'm not paying attention, it's like... I'm jumping into people's conversations halfway through. Pac-Man playing Twitch saying love the 170 BPM stuff. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? A lot of energetic stuff. Speedy B saying would have been perfect with the original vocal. They'd never have cleared that. Who was it? It was a band, wasn't it? It was about a few years old now, 5 years old or something. Well, I've got it on my iPod somewhere. I'm not super into it, but yeah, I remember liking that track Misery, but you'd never be able to clear that because it's got like 60 million plays on YouTube. They ain't licensing that vocal to a thing, whereas if you do a cover version, get somebody to re-sing it, then jobs are good. Give them the publishing for the writer's credits and you take the publishing for the performance credits, and it's a cover version, like you get in the charts, you know, when people, like when Marilyn Manson covered Tainted Love and stuff like that. And Soft Cell, and people go, Marilyn Manson covered Soft Cell Tainted Love. Tainted Love by Soft Cell was a cover by Gloria Jones from 1969, I think. My girlfriend's texting me saying, give me a shout out. I'm not on attention. Shout out Kasha. Hi Kasha. She can probably hear me in the other room. Yeah, shout out to Skobnoff with a Twitch Prime subscription 9 months in a row. Appreciate the support, my friend. Is the music too loud? Sorry, I'm not looking at the levels here. Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. Blasting out the old school. Hailstorm, that was the original. Yeah, you can release a bootleg, but you can just give it away for free, and then chances are it'll hit a copyright flag and get pulled down anyway. So, I'm in the mind. I used to be like sampling a lot, but now just because everything's getting so messy, like you know, the Discoland thing that we did a while back, and we gave away that for free because we tried to release it officially, tried to get hold of the original artist, didn't get a reply, and then the record label said, we don't want to you know, bother putting it out until it's been authorised. And it's like, well, they haven't declined it, and what we've done is legal. It's a cover version. If we give them the licensing, we can release it. And they were like, yeah, but if we haven't had the go ahead from them, so we're like, okay, gave the track away for free. And then they were like, actually, yeah, we might be interested in trying to get hold of it because people really like that track. So then we pulled down the free download, and then no one ever got back to us. Where I'm thinking of trying to put that out on the Keeping the Rave Alive label. So yeah, we're kind of rebooting the Keeping the Rave Alive label, so keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. I'm in the process of it at the moment. That's one of the many things that I'm trying to juggle at the moment. But I think record labels are very narrow-minded these days. Everyone's got a sound that they're specifically doing. You know what we do here on the Keeping the Rave Alive show, and I get sent loads of tracks from people that they end up giving away for free because they don't get picked up on labels, and I think it'd be good, you know, and then they can't be on Spotify because of things like that. So thinking of having a push with the Keeping the Rave Alive label. Shout out to Seraph AA for the tier 1 subscription. Thank you. That means Seraph AA has actually put their hand in their pocket for what I'm doing over here, so thank you. Really appreciate that. Pac-Man played Twitch wants to know if we're thinking about doing a does it sound good at 170 album volume 3. The problem with the albums these days is what we were doing is we were going in and we were licensing all the music. So imagine this is going to be some inside baseball for you. So you've got you want to release an album. So then I go, here's the 20 tracks that I want in the mix. Then you go to the record label and you say, can we use your track? They sign a contract, which means that they get the publishing from the track being on the album. And then and then when it comes out, then like some money comes in. Then every quarter, then you have to account back to the compilation, to the people that have been on the compilation. Now you can imagine we had how many? We had like 4 or 5 Keeping the Rave Alive albums, 3 Hardest Records, 2 170 albums, and then they all had like 20 tracks each on them. And then every quarter you have to account back to each artist, and some of them are collaborations, and the record label, and break up and work out what's coming. And so the accounting gets really heavy, and because we're not doing tons of albums, and the longer they've been out, the less money they generate, got to the point that it was costing more money to get people to do accounting than it was to do the to what we were actually paying out. It was crazy. So yeah, so kind of compilation albums aren't really practical if you're licensing music in anymore, which is why you'll notice, like, you'll see Scantrax do a compilation album and it'll be all their own music, and then every label's doing that. And the more I'm thinking about it like that, I'm thinking that's why we need to push on with the Keeping the Rave Alive label a little bit more. But the irony of it being is, when it was all done officially with contracts, it wasn't worth doing anymore. It was actually costing more money to do it than, you know, than it was bringing in. But I can actually do it. Does It Sound Good at 170 Volume 3, put it up on Mixcloud for free. That's completely legal. The advertising revenue that comes for it is a fraction of what it would have got if we'd have done the album legit, but also gets paid back to the original artist. So we probably going to take down all the albums from the Spotify thing, so they're going to be gone from that, so there's no accounting back, which simplifies the business end of it, and we can just put them up on SoundCloud and Mixcloud for free. So apparently that's the way the industry's going now, so unless you do like inside compilations. So I want to put out more stuff on the Keeping the Rave Alive label, and then maybe we can do a Does It Sound Good at 170 compilation album on, you know, like officially licensed, but I'll only be licensing the music from my back catalogue that I own, and then the accounting's automatically done then. So that's where I'm at the moment. Girlfriend's watching, she's saying, are they dirty undies behind you? They probably are. Like, there's a lot of stuff, I don't know, you can't really see. Yeah, oh, that up there, you might be wondering what's going on with that. That is a Mario t-shirt that isn't just chucked over there for no reason. Been having a bit of problems. You can probably hear in the room now, it's quite echoey. It's like bad acoustics in the room. So when I've been, I still haven't got around to treating it properly yet. So when I've been doing the recording the Keeping the Rave Alive show, little trick, because that's got a backing board on it there. It's like, you know, all like sponge you can see on the inside, you know, which will do it. But the microphone's still picking up the echoiness of the room around it. So just throwing something small like that over the top of it slightly dampens it. It's not going to do it. The best way to do it is if I got a whole blanket, like a whole quilt, and put it all over the top of it. That would actually do it better. It'd probably sound a little bit too dead and maybe even distorted because there's nowhere for the sound to escape, but a blanket over the top would be the best. I'm not going to sit there like a hermit with a blanket over the top of my head, so I just chuck a t-shirt over the top of it. I'm recording vocals, but I do need to get it treated, and I think it seems as girlfriend's listening. Kasha, what I want to do, I want to get rugs on the floor, because we've got a wooden floor in here and that's not helping with the acoustics either. And there's a big window, but it's okay because there's a material blind that comes down, but it's all walls and wood and wardrobe. So on them panels here and there, I want to get just like light frames that you can stick on that will be like, you know, like sound absorbent material. I can get that on the back wall as well there. And then if I put some rugs on the ground, I think that'll make a big difference, because it's the fact that there's no carpet in here, the sound's just bouncing all over the place. And it's like, yeah, it's really starting to annoy me now, because it's like terrible acoustics when you're trying to produce as well. You can just hear this low hum, like woo, 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 at the bottom end of everything. And I don't know whether it's a bad mix or whether it's the acoustics of the room. So that's another thing on the list. Many things that I have to do that I don't have time to do, and instead of actually doing the things that are on my list that I need to do, I keep thinking up new ideas of new things that I can do. Thought of 2 brilliant ideas, because what I want to do is I want to get a podcast on Spotify. Well, the problem is can't put the Keeping the Rave Alive show on Spotify or this show on Spotify because of the licensing issue. Twitch sorts out the licensing, they pay it out, content ID gets put up. Same with YouTube, same with Mixcloud, same with SoundCloud. Spotify, you actively have to license it, so each artist has to agree and sign a contract. It's not practical to do that weekly, but I want to try putting a podcast up there. And there's a lot of spoken word podcasts, so I've got an idea for a podcast where I just want to talk to people in the rave scene, you know, like legends, like, you know, people like I was out with Hicksy and we were talking about stuff and he was telling me stories from back in the day. I find that fascinating. I think everybody else would find it fascinating as well. So I want to create a show like that, and then because that's not going to have any music on it, it's just going to be stories and people talking, conversation type thing, then Joe Rogan podcast type thing with different artists on the scene just talking about it. So that could then go up on Spotify as well as everything else. So I think that'd be an interesting one to try it. And then obviously that could go up on iTunes and SoundCloud and all the other places as well, but also Spotify. That's something I want to try to see how that back end process works for another little business scheme that I've got coming. That's going to be further down the line. We don't need to talk about that yet. Got another idea. And then idea for another podcast. I want to do a video game one, but where we talk about, and I've got really cool names for both of these shows. I can't say it now because I know somebody will rob the idea. But where we talk to people from, like, because loads of my mates that are into, like, kind of music production and stuff, they're all really into video games as well. So I want to do a video game podcast when we talk about games, but like each week I'll have a different guest in. There'll be somebody from within the industry who you'll know, like who's good, like Ruthless, like bang into his gaming. So's Potato. I was talking to him today actually about games. So who else is there that's really into it? There's loads of them. Digital Punk, really into his gaming. Chris, the drum and bass guy's into it, but he just mainly plays FIFA now. So, and I don't play FIFA, so that'll just end up being a football podcast. But who else have we got that's in the industry that you know? I mean, Sam Audio Freak dips in and out, like, but he could have some interesting things. He plays different games to me, so he'd be a good insight on it. Who else is good in the scene? It's got a lot of them have got PlayStation 4s and stuff. I know Tim Atmospheres as well, but I think he's more of a like Call of Duty, FIFA guy. So I don't know like how into video games you'd want to talk about it for an hour with me. I don't know. I can ask him. So yeah, so I think they're good ideas. Sorry, I'm ignoring the chat again. Let's see if you're thinking that's... Yeah, I mean, there was the Rants and Raves podcast, which I did for a while, where it's like I just picked a load of topics and just spilled my guts out on it, and that's what the first 15 minutes of this show's kind of turned into. Or it's kind of merged with this, really, hasn't it? Yeah, Seraph says these could go on Apple Podcasts as well. Yeah, they can go everywhere. And I've got all of that sorted. Like, I know how to do the back end, and I'm paying for that really expensive dedicated server to do the traffic that we need on the Keeping the Rave Alive show. It's the reason why I did the Twitch show as a podcast as well, which you can download this as a podcast. Just search Klutski Twitch Sessions, plug. Because I've already got the bandwidth, so it costs no more to do any of this stuff. So I can do as many podcasts as I want, and I've got the dedicated server. So that's kind of the idea of that. EGN Dead Nation says, when did you start the Twitch podcast? It's kind of been an ongoing project. Originally this started probably over 2 years ago when it was, I wanted to do a breakfast radio show at Radio 1, but they'd never let me do it. I wanted to fill in, like on a bank holiday when they let the specialist DJs take over the daytime shows. I wanted to do the show then. They wouldn't let me. So I thought once I got used to the live stream, and I'd done it a couple of times on Facebook, I got up once at like 6 o'clock in the morning and did a live stream from like 6:30 till 9 a.m, like the breakfast show with Kutski. Sat there in my dressing gown in my bedroom back in Ellesmere Port, and everyone was like, this is amazing, and it got tons of views, and everyone was like, do it more regularly. So I started doing it once a month, but after about 3 or 4 months I was like, it was too hard getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning in the week and then going to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning on weekends, and then with travel and stuff, and I was like, it's not possible. So then I started doing it in the evening instead, and then I had loads of problems with Facebook cutting the live stream because of the content ID, which is the problem we're having. And then I knew Twitch was a good platform, and some people were doing stuff on Twitch. Then I started experimenting with Twitch, and then that was kind of how the Twitch Sessions thing came about, which is where we are now. And I was worried that we were going to have problems when I moved to Warsaw, like, it was different setup, different regime. We're in an apartment now, studio, but it's working, isn't it? It's all good. We're kind of battling on, which I think is kind of fun that it's kind of this, like the Keeping the Rave Alive show. That was very much when I was wrapping things up with Radio 1 the last couple of years. I was like, I want my own thing that I'm in control of. So, so I want to set up my own little thing on the side and juggle both for a little bit, and then move fully into Keeping the Rave Alive. And that was very strategically planned and focused and business orientated, and that's cool. But I also like just doing stupid stuff, whereas there's no pressure with this Twitch thing. If next week, if I go, I don't like it anymore, I don't have to carry on doing it, because it's not like anything's hinged on it. But at the same time, is like, it's fun to do it, and then however it'd evolve, and my circumstances might change in the future, which means it evolves into something else, and it's this constantly evolving show with no pressure to do anything. It's just literally fun. Like that timer in the corner then was counting down from 15 minutes when I'm supposed to wrap up the show. I want to carry on talking, I'll carry on. I don't care what you're going to do, cut me off. No, Twitch ain't going to cut me off. It's fun. So yeah, so that's how this started, and I wouldn't mind, like I said, I've got enough stuff that I'm juggling at the moment, so I probably shouldn't be adding more stuff into the mix that I've got to do, but at the same time, I kind of want to do them. I just wish I had more hours in the day. Yeah, Flint's saying I remember the 30 frames a second 720p camera. Yeah, and now we've got like GoPros in the background going into capture cards, 4K. I've got 2 4K cameras, one I'm not even using. I've got a camera angle that I'm not even using. So it's all good. Yeah, Speedy B saying remember the dog. That was when I was doing the breakfast show and I looked out into my garden and there was a dog running around there and I haven't got a dog. So yeah, I had to go out and find out with the dog. All kinds of things. Speedy B saying when you upgrade into 8K, I don't know, to be honest, man. It's like when bandwidth covers 8K. I mean, if you're getting on 8K, you're going to be able to see all the like blackheads on my nose and stuff. I mean, do you really want that? I mean, clearly I haven't shaved for the occasion, so I don't think you need 8K really. Well, there again is I suppose you'd be able to look in the laptop and see what the tracks are in the background. You'd be able to see the BPM on the laptop that far away. Yeah, okay. DJ Night Viper says 100,000 subs. If we get 100,000 subs, I'll get an 8K camera. You can have that. That's on record, so spread the word. If you want to spread the word and help boost the numbers, that would help as well. I think we're doing well. Like, you know, considering that, like I said, Twitch it's not like you go onto Facebook or SoundCloud, the audience that would be into what I do is already on them platforms. Whereas I think primarily my audience isn't on Twitch. So we've had to build this and drag people over slowly by slowly. And yeah, we've done okay so far. So, like, you know, I think, 3,000, it's not bad going. Yeah, we average between 70 and 100 like viewers on the thing, which is, that's good going. Again, when you consider that it's like I've got like 107,000 people on Facebook and you post something up and it goes reach 240. Do you want to pay money to boost the post? And it's like, no, how about fuck off? How about let the people that said that they want to follow me, how about let them see what I'm posting? But no. So yeah, my feelings on Facebook, not a fan. So yeah, I think Twitter's one of the best for I like going on Twitter. I tend to have the most fun conversations and interactions with people on there. YouTube's a pain in the arse now. I mean, just is. They just don't get how the copyright thing should work, and they don't get how the ad revenue should work. It's not a fair deal, and it's not a friendly platform to work with. Whereas Twitch is really cool. I do like it. And I think we're sending this out to Mixer now as well, on the syndication thing. And yeah, fat lot of good that's doing me. It's like I went there and I looked and it said, I think the first time we did it, put up there and I thought, I get a few people that'll pass through and see it. Probably not many people DJ, and it's like, something interesting to have a little look on it. I looked at it and I had 1 view. And I was like, well, 1 view's better than none, I guess. And then I remembered that I'd opened up the stream to make sure it was working. So yeah. And also I did put it's streaming on VK, but I'm getting no viewers on that as well. So if I've got any Russians on here who want to wake me up and help me set up that properly, and also any Mandarin speaking ones, because there's a lot of Mandarin based social media networks that I could go streaming on that I think people in China might be interested in, but I can't even sign up to the website because my Mandarin is that bad. It's weird though, because it's like, as a content creator, this is really bad. As a content creator, I hate YouTube, and it's flawed, and it's nothing but problems, and it causes me nothing but stress and drama. When I go to bed every night, what do I watch? YouTube. I mean, what they need to do is set up a separate platform that's much better, and everybody also upload to YouTube and the other place as well. And then I'll just use the other place if most of the content that I want's on there. But the problem is all the content I want is on YouTube. So. But as far as live streaming goes, this is a better platform. So anyway, I'm starting to rant now, and I'm going to wrap things up. Seems as the music's finished. It's almost like, like in a nightclub when the music finishes and the light comes on. And it's like, yeah, time to get out, Kutski, wrap it up. So yeah, thanks for joining me on the stream. I've just finished recording this week's Keeping the Rave Alive show, which is going to go up on Friday with a guest mix from Max Wolf, which is really good. I love that guy, and yeah, I wanted to push him and help shine a bit of a spotlight on him. So make sure you check that out on Friday. I've got the weekend off this weekend because we're going to a wedding, and I've got a suit. So yeah, follow me on Instagram if you want to see pictures of me in a suit for like the 3rd time in my life, and the first time that it's not been because I've been in court. Yeah, beat you to it before any of you post that. Yes, you can see me in a suit on there. And then I'll be back here on Tuesday doing this again with another random topic and subject of music. So yeah, thanks for joining me on the show. Hope you enjoyed the little mix. Hope you enjoyed the rants either side. Thank you everybody who came in with the subscriptions and everybody who tunes in every week. And on that note, I will leave you to enjoy the rest of your evening. Skutski signing out. Peace out. Keep the rave alive.